The story of your company's supply chain? Let's just say it's complicated. Sure, it was designed to be efficient, to operate just in time in a stable world. When shocks happened, your business could overcome disruption, one crisis at a time. But in 2026, it's never just one crisis at a time. In the last year alone, tariffs have shifted, conflicts have blocked vital trade routes, natural disasters have impacted upstream suppliers, and insolvencies threaten the fabric of the economy. When crisis becomes constant, the same narrow choke points are exposed time and again. Global industry now faces a new reality. Resilience, not efficiency, is the measure of your supply chain. Welcome then to the era of uncertainty.
One of the most interesting things these days, of course, is the uncertainty that we are facing. If you look at what the world looked like, 10, 20 years ago, the reality was just a bit different. In the last year, in the last 18 months, we've seen a lot of volatility, very much driven by geopolitical changes. And these, of course, also have impacts on supply chains.
Supply chain resilience is a simple theory, the extent to which you can predict, withstand, and recover quickly from disruption. This is measured by three key metrics: your time to survive, your time to recover, and your time to thrive. The complicated part? That's in the implementation. That's because some disruptions can be predicted and avoided, and others can't. That's why supply chain resilience must operate on two dimensions. You must be able to react quickly when disruptions occur, but also anticipate disruption before it hits.
Like, how long can you actually survive after that disruption hits? Like, do you have stock? Do you have, a second supplier lined up who will airlift things to you so that you can really get through? And I think this is basically what the time to survive is about. But I think that really matters in the moment of the incident. That's like the very operational perspective versus if you're taking the helicopter perspective of an executive. It's just very crucial to understand what's the P&L impact of those risks.
Usually when big events, risk events are occurring, top executives ask their supply chain managers one very important question at the end, and this is: how are we affected, and what does this mean for us in the context of our supply chain? What we try to solve with our situation reports is giving our customers the answers already up front, quite quickly after the event happens, because the sooner you can answer the question, how am I exposed, how am I affected, the easier it is to take actionable steps.
I think the crucial part that AI plays in this role is to sift through the amount of noise and data that we have. What if tomorrow, copper prices would increase by 2x? What if tomorrow we would have another bridge collapsing, the Suez Canal being blocked? Like, these sort of scenarios that you can very much tailor to your business needs, I think can be most easily run with sophisticated AI, because it can take in a lot of information and very quickly provide the output that otherwise would just take weeks of analysis to understand.
In many supply chains, visibility stops at Tier 1. In fact, only 42% of companies have visibility into Tier 2 suppliers, and far fewer go deeper. The result is a critical visibility gap. Geographical supplier concentration complicates the issue further. In critical industries like semiconductors, a single Tier 3 supplier or raw material producer can halt production for some of the biggest OEMs in the world, creating a ripple effect throughout an entire industry or region. Prewave expands your visibility, mapping the actual relationships between companies. The result is a live map of your entire supply network, alerting you to upstream risks, even if they're 3 or 4 tiers removed.
Tier N monitoring is relevant because not all risks happen at your direct suppliers. There could be risks that only materialize, let's say, on the second or the third tier of your supply chain. And then if you would only monitor your direct suppliers, you would be completely unaware of these risks. On the proactive side, we are more interested in, let's call them, structural factors in the supply chain. And this also can be analyzed both on Tier 1 and Tier N level. So on Tier 1 level, you might, for example, think that, I'm sourcing a critical component from 2 different suppliers. I'm well diversified. But it could turn out that both of these suppliers source their material, a critical material, from a single Tier 2 supplier, which would mean your diversification is not actually very complete. It's complete only on the first tier level.
A structural dependency means that you can't easily overcome it with procurement playbooks. So normally you would go for the classical things like geographical diversity, for dual sourcing, or any other ways to overcome a dependency, or even buffering, even if it's expensive. But you can't do that with structural dependencies, right? If you look on the rare earth materials, they say rare, but they are not rare at all. There are several miners for it, but not refiners for it, right? So I can't overcome that China is holding the largest extent of these refineries. When Baltimore Bridge collapsed 2024, they had the issue to understand which of their suppliers are affected. They have more than 400 suppliers in the US, but who is actually going through this port? And that's a question that is a project in itself. So the nice part was we were able to identify this in around about 2 weeks with them and reduce the 400 suppliers to 32 suppliers, and also figure and link this back that 4 of their sites might be affected from a line stoppage.
The reality nowadays just is that the companies are cost conscious. They need to be looking at how much capital they have invested. So just building buffer stocks all the time does not work. The most crucial piece for proactive resilience and how our customers that are successful with it are doing it is to really measure it in a data-driven manner. So you need to build up strategies. What is actually the revenue or the margin at risk? Because then you can trade off which investments are you actually willing to do.
Ayrton Senna once said that you can overtake more cars when it's raining, and the era of supply chain uncertainty means it's pretty wet out there. As ever, those that adapt best will succeed, and technology that provides long-term return on investment is key. Let's build supply chains that don't just survive disruption, but thrive in it. Book your Prewave demo today.